Coco Gauff directs frustrated complaint at her coaches as her double fault woes continue during Dubai SF loss. Coco Gauff's simmering frustration during her semi-final loss at the 2026 Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships did not go unnoticed, and former pro Rennie Stubbs was among those watching closely. In a tense, physically draining battle against Alina Svitolina, Gauff's emotions spilled over as her serving struggles resurfaced at the worst possible time. Stubbs quickly weighed in, pointing to Gauff's audible frustration as one of the most telling moments of the match. A closer look at Coco Gauff's serving struggles and emotional flashpoint against Alina Svitolina. Gauff's semi-final match against 7th seed Svitolina in Dubai was a grueling 3-hour marathon. Svitolina ultimately triumphed with a score of 6-4, 6-7, 13, 6-4, securing her spot in the final. The match featured the longest tiebreak on the WTA Tour in 2026, where Gauff saved 4 match points to take the second set 15-13 before eventually falling in the decider. Gauff's serve continued to be a significant liability throughout the match, as she recorded 12 double faults. This followed a troubling pattern for her in Dubai, including a match earlier in the week against Elise Mertens, where she struck 16 double faults. The tension surrounding her technical struggles boiled over during the second set. After hitting a double fault at 3-3, 15-15, Gauff was captured by microphones venting her frustration toward her coaching box. She specifically addressed her biomechanics coach, Gavin McMillan, shouting, "I've been doing everything you've wanted for the last 6 months." Gauff hired McMillan in August 2025, just before the US Open, to overhaul her service motion and address inconsistencies in her forehand. McMillan is well known for successfully rebuilding world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka's serve. Against that backdrop, Stubbs, a former doubles world number 1 and respected analyst, reacted to the exchange on social media, posting, "Interesting comments from Coco in this game. How did Gauff's dramatic path to the semifinals unfold in Dubai?" Entering the tournament as the world number 4 and the 3rd seed, Gauff received a bye into the second round, where she defeated Anna Kalinskaya 6-4, 6-4. In a high-stakes third-round match against Mertens, Gauff saved 3 match points to win 2-6, 7-6, 9, 6-3. Despite the victory, she struggled significantly with her serve, recording 16 double faults and 63 unforced errors. She followed this with a much more dominant quarterfinal performance, routing Alexandra Elis 6-0, 6-2 in just over an hour. Under the white blaze of the desert lights, the court felt smaller than usual. The semi-final of the Dubai Tennis Championships had drawn a restless, humming crowd, their anticipation hanging in the warm night air. At one end stood Coco Gauff, still only 20, yet already carrying the posture of someone accustomed to grand stages. She bounced the ball once, twice, a third time. The first serve clipped the tape and fell back on her side. She exhaled sharply. Second serve. The toss drifted too far to the right. Her racket chased it awkwardly, the contact late, the ball snapping into the net with a dull, unforgiving thud. Double fault. A murmur rippled through the stadium. Coco turned her back to the net and stared into her player's box. For a fraction of a second, her face was neutral, almost blank. But then her jaw tightened, her eyebrows knit together, and she lifted both arms, palms open, as if asking a question only her coaches could answer. "What am I doing wrong?" her body language screamed, even if her words never fully reached the microphones. It had become an unwelcome pattern throughout the week. Her ground strokes were electric, her backhand a laser that pinned opponents behind the baseline. Her movement, elastic, relentless, made her seem as though she could chase down anything. But the serve, once a weapon, had betrayed her at the worst moments. And now, in a semi-final that promised momentum and confidence heading deeper into the season, the double faults were stacking like unpaid bills. She walked to the towel, pressing it hard against her face. When she turned back, her eyes flicked again to her coaches. This time she spoke more directly, her lips clearly forming words. "Should I just spin it in?" she appeared to ask, frustration bleeding through. From the stands, a coach leaned forward, hands cupped around his mouth, offering calm, measured gestures. "Higher toss, more margin, trust the motion." the universal signals of reassurance. But reassurance can feel like static when your rhythm has vanished. Another first serve missed long. The second serve hovered in the air just a fraction too long, inviting doubt. She swung tentatively. Another double fault. The opponent didn't need to do much in those moments. Just stand firm, return what came, and let the scoreboard reflect the damage. Break points materialized not through blistering winners but through hesitation, through technical ghosts that had crept into Coco's service motion. Between points, she paced behind the baseline, racket tapping against her thigh. Her thoughts seemed to race faster than her feet. Was it the toss? Too far back? Too low? Was her shoulder opening too soon? Or was it something less tangible, a tightening in the chest when the score tightened, a flicker of doubt that whispered, "Don't miss?" She glanced up again. "Tell me something," she mouthed, almost pleading. The exchange was brief but telling. A young champion, already with major titles and expectations orbiting her like satellites, searching for clarity in real time. Tennis can be brutally solitary. Coaches watch, they cannot intervene. Advice travels in fragments, gestures, eye contact, the subtle nod that says, "Breathe." The set slipped away, not in a dramatic cascade of winners from the other side, but in a slow leak. A double fault here. A cautious second serve there that was punished. Each misfire compounded the next, and soon the scoreboard reflected a gap that felt wider than it actually was. During the changeover, she sat with elbows on knees, staring at the court as if it might reveal a secret pattern in its painted lines. The desert air buzzed with distant traffic and murmuring fans. Somewhere in the stadium, a phone camera flashed. She shook her head and muttered to herself. The second set began with renewed intent. Her ground game caught fire. A backhand return winner down the line drew a roar from the crowd. For a few games, the serve held steady, nothing spectacular, but safe. Functional. She pumped her fist after a solid hold, shouting a clipped, "Come on!" that echoed with defiance. Maybe this was the turn. Then at 3-3, 30-15, the tension crept back. First serve long. She paused longer before the second serve this time, bouncing the ball 6-7 times. The stadium quieted. The toss rose high, almost perfect, but her swing faltered, decelerating at the last instant. The ball struck the tape and dribbled down. Another double fault. She spun around immediately, eyes flashing toward her box. "I can't keep doing that," she called out audibly this time. The frustration wasn't theatrical, it was raw. Not directed in blame, but in desperation. As if she and her coaches were locked in a puzzle together, each misfire another piece that refused to fit. The opponent sensed it too. Pressure mounted. Returns grew more aggressive. Rallies shortened. And when breakpoint arrived, it was delivered on the back of yet another second serve that sat up invitingly.